Okay, so it is April 29th, and we just had yesterday ruling from Judge McGlynn down in the Southern District of Illinois, and he put a temporary restraining order on the magazine and gun ban and joined all this stuff. So there's a good article here from Greg Bishop, the Center Square. He kind of explains it. If you haven't been following Greg, you can also find him on YouTube at Bishop On Air. So he does a morning show down in Springfield, but he covers really anything going on politically or with the government here in Illinois. But he's been following the gun stuff pretty closely, going to the hearings and stuff like that. So he has a lot of good information on it. If you don't follow him, you might also want to check out.
Roofers are furious about this new product that's going viral.
Freedom Steel. So that's Todd Vandermeide. And he was an NRA lobbyist. He's very involved in all the lawsuit stuff as well. So check out Todd over at Freedom Steel. He did a little update last night and did a live chat as well. So basically what we have is we have Judge McGlynn down in the Southern District saying that it's unconstitutional and he enjoined everything. But just last week, well, actually a few weeks ago, I forget her name. Anyways, judge up in the Northern District, and this is with regards to the law weapons lawsuit in Naperville, she said it was constitutional. So now we have two different rulings, one in the Northern District that says the law is fine, one in the Southern District that says the law is no good. So as of today, this morning, actually as of yesterday, a lot of places started selling stuff. They pulled all the stuff they had in their back rooms that they weren't able to sell since January. Magazines, guns, stuff like that, started selling it. It's kind of like a little freedom weekend as far as we know. I'm assuming the state's going to look to put a stay on this on Monday. So if that gets issued, this could be just Freedom Weekend, kind of like California had Freedom Week a few years ago. So if that is the case, then, you go out and buy whatever you want this weekend. When the law was enacted, so, the law was enacted January 10th. So let's say you bought a gun on January 9th, paid for it, background check passed, you were just in your waiting period, you were still allowed to get that gun. So they were still allowed to finish that transaction because it started before the time, the law was passed. So I would assume that's going to happen again. So if you were to buy something today, get your NICS check all done, pay for it, even if they get a stay on Monday, I would assume that gun could still be delivered on, Tuesday or Wednesday. But I'm not 100% sure on that. I am not a lawyer. You would have to check with the gun store and all that sort of stuff. So one thing, I know a couple guys from work said they were going out shopping this weekend to buy some stuff. One thing that Todd reminded everybody of last night was that, this is just kind of a start of things. So this isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. This is a temporary from the Southern District. So it's still going to go to appeals court and still going to be tried and all that sort of stuff. So there's still lawsuits that need to be fought and they still need some money. So with that being said, if you were going to go out and buy some stuff this weekend, I would definitely urge anybody who's going to go spend some money to take a portion of that money and try to donate it to some of these lawsuits. So SADEC, that's through the Aurora Sportsman's Club. They got this set up, and that's working with the Illinois FFL lawsuit. That's the one Todd's working with. So you can go on here and you can donate however much you can afford. So, like I said, the lawsuits are still ongoing. So these lawyers are still going to need to be paid because this has not been settled by any stretch of the imagination. There's still a long way to go here. So you could go to Aurora Sportsman's Club. Come down here and click right there, and you can donate whatever you know, throw 10, 20, $100, whatever at it. That would be awesome. The other organization that they're working with is the Second Amendment Law Center. So it's 2alc.org. And if you want to donate to them, you go down to the Take Action, Contribute Securely. And then on their website, you can actually pick. So if you want to donate to the fight in Illinois, you can click on Illinois, pick how much you want to donate, throw your credit card in there, and that will help the legal fund for that as well. And then one of the other ones is, so the National Association for Gun Rights. This is the organization that's working with Law Weapons in Naperville. So they're the ones that are kind of behind that one, and they are currently in the 7th district, the Northern District, and that's the one that got denied. And they actually just petitioned the Supreme Court to overturn what the Northern District said and get an injunction relating to their case as well. It's kind of a long shot. There's a video if you want to check them out on YouTube as well. I believe her name's Hannah. She explained kind of what's going on. So even they admit it's kind of a long shot. The Supreme Court usually doesn't like to issue any sort of rulings until there's a record of, decisions in the lower courts. So we'll see what happens with that. But if you want to support them, same thing, go National Association of Gun Rights. And there's, you got all their stuff. But yeah, they also have a place to donate. So you click on donate, and then, just like the other ones, my internet's slow, donate what you want. And that will help out that that lawsuit, which is the law weapons one against Naperville. And then they amended it to include the entire state, because when this started, Naperville passed an ordinance saying you couldn't sell anything. And then that was before the state did theirs. So if you want to help that out, or if you just are in the area, if you're near Naperville, if you know where Law Weapons is, you could just stop in there. And last time I was in there, they had an ammo can with a slot in it, and you could throw some cash in there to help with the legal issues. So that's just the one thing that I know Todd was talking about last night, and that like he was saying, the lawsuits are far from over. There's still a lot that needs to be figured out here. And
Bring my Yahtzee here. When you need parts, eBay Motors ensures a guarantee.
Todd's videos here, or Greg Bishop, he does a lot of good information on this. But like he was reiterating again last night, that this is great. So if you were looking to get something, you could go get it right now, today, tomorrow. Hopefully it stays in place. They don't get a stay on it, and it we go back to basically normal, or whatever's normal for Illinois at this point. And then once it starts working its way through the actual court proceedings, then we'll kind of see where it goes from there. But in the meantime, the lawyers still need to get paid to do their work. So if you were gonna go out this weekend and spend $500 or $600 on stuff that you just kind of wanted but don't really need, if you already have 50 mags at home and you were going to go buy 10, well, maybe buy 5 and throw 10 or 20, $50 towards one of these lawsuits to help out, because that's where we're going to win this thing, is in the courts. And obviously it takes money to pay the lawyers, because you don't want to have a crappy lawyer when you're going up against a state, because they have unlimited funds, because they're just using our tax money to try to take away our rights. So, they have an unlimited bankroll. They just come to us and take more money from us, but we have to actually pay the lawyers that are going to fight this stuff. So if you have a little extra cash and you can donate some money, please do. And hopefully this will all work out in the end. And hopefully it actually swings the pendulum a little further towards freedom, to where, not just this is done. But, in light of what happened with NYSERPA and all that stuff, we keep getting these little wins and little wins and little wins. Eventually, we can hopefully get rid of the FOID card. We can get rid of anything else in Illinois that's ridiculous, the suppressor ban. All those little things that are going on here in Illinois that are just these little tiny, well, not little, but they are infringements, right? Obviously, we know that. They look at them as, oh, it's just this little bit. It only affects the small portion of people, so it's not that big a deal. It is a big deal, and we need to get rid of all this stuff. But it all starts with these tiny little building blocks. This is the foundation of how we're going to end all this crap that's going on in Illinois. So if you do have a little money that you can spare, donate it to one of these associations. From what Todd was saying last night and talking with the Illinois State Rifle Association folks, because again, all the 4 cases, federal cases, have been put together. So obviously they're talking to each other. He said that they had mentioned they have enough money to fight this all the way to the Supreme Court. So, take that for what it's worth. If you're going to donate money and you have limited resources, maybe try to funnel it towards the organizations that need the money the most right now, that don't have the deeper pockets. So that's also something to think about. But just something to think about going into this weekend. It's about 8:30 on Saturday morning, so I know people are getting ready to go out and go shopping. I don't know if some stores are opening up early just to handle the influx of people that are coming. But something to think about before you go out and drop a bunch of money on stuff this weekend. Might be a good idea to also put at least a portion of that towards the fight. Have a great weekend. Freedom will win.